Gamification and Cloud Conference.
Yeah, it's called the Cloud Conference. So it's sponsored by the government, but organized by the Daily Chosen Daily.
Chosen Daily.
And it's on technology like IoT and gamification, self-driving.
Fantastic. So actually during this week we have a lot of other kind of conferences going on regarding, I think, digital education or education technology. Plus, I think yesterday we had the Steve Wozniak coming over to give a talk about technology and humanity and so on. So I think this week is quite much focused on these kinds of topics. And so today we are very happy to invite you actually to give us a little introduction of all your knowledge on gamification. So since we are already a little bit late, and I'm so sorry because we had actually an activity going on, long scheduled for hippies. Today in the morning there was a hiking tour in the mountains. So we are a little bit late and sorry for all of that. Let's get started with the presentation, and then at the end I can explain you what we do with Hippie Korea and give you a little bit of understanding of the other activities we actually do, of which you might be interested. But now, thank you very much. So, Yu-Kai Chou, we get started with your presentation. Thank you.
So thank you for having me here. Today we're going to talk about actionable gamification beyond points, badges, and leaderboards. So I guess before, who knows a little bit about gamification? No one? Okay. A little bit. All right. Cool. That's good. That's why I'm here. If you know all too much, then I don't need to be here. So I'm Yu-Kai Chou. I will be a guild leader for today. And a quick background on myself. So I started working on gamification since 2003. And that made me one of the earlier pioneers in the industry. And I started a few technology companies all in the gamification space. Right now I'm the founder of this company called Octalysis Group. I do a lot of these keynote speeches and lectures at Stanford University. I do workshops at Accenture, did TEDx, different things. And I've been very lucky in the past 2-3 years, different organizations in Europe, when they rank the top gamification experts. For the past 3, there's also 2015, the past 3 years, they rated me the #1 spot. So very grateful on that. And recently became an author, Actionable Gamification, as you can see on your table. So that's the link to buy it, but of course you don't need to buy it anymore. So it's fine.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So before we talk about gamification, it's good to talk a little bit about games. You know, who plays games? Now, most people, when they think about gamers, they think about people like these. Yeah, so little kids and guys who are probably single, probably don't have a job and eat pizza onto their shirts. But the actual statistics for gamers can be surprising for many people. The average gamer is now 35 years old. 68% of them are over 18. And 47% of these gamers are women, which means there's actually more adult women playing games than males under 18, especially if you look at social mobile games like Candy Crush, like Farmville, Angry Birds. So what does this mean? If you look at this demographic, it's a pretty generic demographic. 35 years old average, half are female. This really says that as long as you give them a reason to, everyone has the capacity to enjoy games. Now, a lot of people don't play games because they think it's a waste of time, they feel guilty, they feel like there's important, serious things to do. But again, if you give them the reason to, they know it's useful, then everyone has the capacity to enjoy games. It could be your children, it could be your employees, it could be your coworkers, it could be your employers, it could be your parents. And I think this number is a global number, but I think in Korea it's actually even more exaggerated. South Korea has been the leading hardcore capital of gaming, so we've seen that a lot. Now, what is gamification? Gamification is applying all those fun and exciting elements of games and applying it into what I call non-game / boring context. So things that you have to do, but you don't necessarily want to do. Stuff like healthcare, education, training, product design, things like that. And so a lot of people ask me, so Yu-Kai, do games actually change behavior? My answer is yes. And my favorite example is this. A lot of people say, oh, kids these days, they have no work ethics, no discipline, they have no perseverance when it comes to hardship, right? Spoiled kids. But when it comes to gaming, kids have amazing work ethics. You know, a lot of them wake up 3 a.m. in the morning behind their parents' back to secretly log onto their computer or on their iPads and start leveling up their characters. And if you know how to play role-playing games, you'll know that leveling up your character usually means killing the same monsters over and over again in the same stage for hours and hours and hours upon weeks. And if you think about it, almost all games are repetitive. You know, Angry Birds, just shooting out the bird, throwing out the bird, throwing out the bird. Candy Crush is matching 3 gems, matching 3 gems, matching 3 gems, right? It's very repetitive, but people can do this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, every single day, without getting tired. Now, in the gaming world, this is called grinding. It's fun, it's addicting. Little kids say, oh, I can't go watch a movie because I need to grind for another 2 hours. But in the real world, that's actually called grunt work, right? Doing the exact same things over and over and over again with tiny variations for hours and hours upon weeks, like data entry, putting a lot of things in Excel spreadsheets, or